Failed liberal cities are finally being left to rot as businesses and residents begin leaving en masse. In this video, we're going to take a look at the effects of this mass exodus that are already being seen in cities across the country, and how more and more people and businesses are taking a stand and wanting nothing more to do with these Democrat hellholes. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone, dear patriots from all over the world. Dr. Steve here. Great to be with you as always. If this is your first time here at this channel, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. You have found your daily white pill of encouragement and optimism, where we analyze current events, analyze some super awesome conservative trends so you can live in the present in light of even better things to come. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. It'd be an absolute privilege to have you as a regular part of this channel as we together celebrate each and every day, yes, the inevitable collapse of left-wing globalism and the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age. Let's start with our video chat question of the day, shall we? Do you believe our cities will indeed implode as a result of a mass exodus? Let us know in the comments section below. Do you see our cities basically rotting out as a result of this Democrat monopoly that rules them? Because it really does appear that more and more residents and businesses are just saying enough is enough. And they're fleeing our cities and indeed leaving them to rot in the midst of their Democrat ruin. But first, our sponsors over at BioTrust have combined 4 of the world's best immune-supporting powerhouses, along with a mega dose of vitamin C into their #1 immunity support product, Ageless Body. It's simply amazing. Ageless Body provides you 5 of the most powerful immune support ingredients available, including the #1 immunity support recommendation, turmeric, which has a 46 times better absorption rate than most other forms. And best of all, if you click on the link below today, you can now get Ageless Body at their lowest price ever, up to 51% off with free US shipping to boot. So don't wait. Click on that link or go to agewithsteveturley.com and give your immune system an awesome boost today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. We are seeing nothing less than a literal geopolitical outworking of the age-old adage, get woke, go broke. You're not seeing this anywhere in terms of, you're not just seeing this in terms of individuals, you know, like once upon a time Hollywood celebrities that got all woke and now nobody wants to hear from them again, you know, like Rosie O'Donnell or Kathy Griffin or Alyssa Milano, all these, you know, whose left-wing annex have consigned them to the ash heap of celebrity history. We're not even talking about corporations that get woke and then see their profits plummet as a result, like Nike or Dick's Sporting Goods or Target. No, we're actually talking about entire cities, entire metropolises beginning to economically implode precisely because of their wokeness. And no city in our nation seems immune from this. This is what I'm calling here, for lack of a better term, a geopolitical outworking of the adage, get woke, go broke, that I think has become really a fundamental law of the universe. Let's start with a total implosion going on in the ultra-liberal Mayor Bill de Blasio's New York City. Simply put, New York is spiraling out of control. It's going into a full-blown death spiral. I grew up in the greater New York area in Connecticut. My sister ended up living in Brooklyn, working in Manhattan for the last several years. Many of my high school friends went on to establish their lives, their careers in New York City. They loved it. They loved it. You know the song, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, right? New York City it's been compared, right, by the Beatles song to a modern-day Rome. But unlike Alaric and the Visigoths, who stormed Rome and destroyed the city back in 410 AD, we're seeing New York implode from within. Now, virtually everyone I know who lives in New York is making plans to leave or has already left. And we're not just talking because of the ridiculous taxes imposed on those living in the city, who actually have to pay a pretty hefty city income tax in addition to their insane state income tax. We're obviously not just talking about that, right? We're talking about the inevitable consequences of left-wing insanity. New York is about as liberal and left-wing as the city can get. You periodically, you know, they come to their senses every once in a while. They vote for a Republican like Mayor Rudy Giuliani, cleaned up the city, cut crime rates by 80%. But the fact is that when Democrats outnumber Republicans by like a margin 9-1 or whatever it is, you're basically captive to the sentiments of these left-wing voters. And those sentiments have effectively destroyed the city. CNBC reported a couple of months back that the coronavirus epidemic was causing New York's wealthy to actually leave the city. They're taking their families and, yes, their money, and they're moving to the suburbs, the surrounding suburbs and exurbs to escape the crowded lifestyle that became such a hot spot for the coronavirus. Now, keep in mind, this was going on even before the coronavirus. Left-wing policies were already driving people out en masse from New York City. This is an article from last year, from 2019, talking about the flight from New York City. According to Bloomberg, estimates have been that people are relocating out of New York City at the rate of more than 300 per day. New York has already been hemorrhaging residents. But do you think the ultra-left mayor, Bill de Blasio, cares a whit about that? He's too busy celebrating that his rabid left-wing daughter ended up getting arrested at one of these so-called peaceful protests. People are fed up. They're sick of these city cesspools of Democrat decay, and they're leaving. And they're taking their tax dollars and their businesses with them, as they should. There's no reason on earth that anyone should be forced to suffer under such reprehensible conditions as represented by Democrat-dominated American cities. And we're beginning to see the effects of this mass exodus. It's not just for poor communities. Look at this. Look at this. It's not just the city slums becoming more slummy as a result of the loss of New York's tax base, but even the upper class culture of New York is imploding. As wealthy families flee, now New York's prep schools, their posh upper class private schools, may have to close their doors. Again, this already started with the whole pandemic. Wealthy families were relocating to suburbs and have no plans on returning back to the city. They're looking at the posh public schools in these suburbs as viable alternatives to their $30,000 a year city prep schools, right? Life outside of the city is considered now by more and more people safer and healthier. So much for left-wing policies in a post-pandemic world. But it's not just New York that's in a death spiral. Every city in America is beginning to completely rot. You may have seen this report from Seattle. They've just lost $1 billion investment company. Speed Capital Management has announced that they're moving their headquarters from the insanity of Seattle to the far more sane and more affordable Camelback Corridor of Phoenix. The president and CEO of the investment company, Cole Smead, confirmed in an interview that the social unrest that's plagued Seattle over the last several weeks has destroyed the downtown business community there. So in other words, there's just no point to continue to do business in the city whose public officials care nothing, not one whit, about law and order. In Chicago, things are so bad, so many businesses and residents are leaving, that the ultra-left mayor, Lori Lightfoot, right, she announced that she's actually considering raising property taxes. You heard that right. She's actually going to raise taxes as the city faces a massive budget shortfall. The Chicago mayor's already been busy groveling and pleading with businesses not to leave Chicago. She can't bear the thought of this corporate cash cow and its massive tax base fleeing her city. And one of the biggest companies that's threatening to leave, by the way, is Walmart. Their stores were heavily looted and damaged. In fact, I think that one had nothing left whatsoever after these peaceful protesters visited the store. And Walmart's saying, why should we stay here? You didn't protect us, so, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. So, needless to say, if Walmart is considering leaving, a number of other smaller businesses are ready to follow suit as well. And in Minneapolis, the city where the riots started after the George Floyd killing there, they're seeing a massive depletion of business revenue as business owners are fleeing the city en masse. We reported a couple of weeks ago on the president of Seven Sigma Incorporated, a Minneapolis manufacturing company. He announced that, hey, city officials clearly demonstrated unequivocally that they don't care about me or my business. They don't care about, my workers' welfare. They failed to protect our company, and thus we're going to return the favor. We're out of here. So they announced they're leaving Minneapolis and they're relocating somewhere else where it's actually safe, where public officials don't actually encourage rioting and looting, let alone defend it. Oh, and of course, as a result of this mass exodus, of course, city real estate prices are imploding, right? Once you begin this death spiral of cultural Marxist wokeness, it just gets worse and worse. And you end up with Venezuela or North Korea-like conditions. You effectively turn your city into Mogadishu. And Seattle even comes equipped with a bona fide warlord to boot. It really does appear that our nation is beginning to balkanize into two major factions. Those who value and love civilization, who want clean and safe streets, who want flourishing schools, who want intact families. They want vibrant churches and responsible communities. They want sane universities and prosperous businesses. Well, they're all moving to the suburbs, and even more so to the exurbs. And they're increasingly going to want to have nothing to do with these secular cesspools we call cities, every single one of which is run by a Democrat monopoly. Our cities across our country are indeed being left to rot, and ultimately, they have only themselves to blame. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on a Democrat senator getting violently attacked by a left-wing mob. The infighting in the left has begun, and it's all but guaranteeing a Republican landslide in November. You're not going to want to miss this one, so make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.